This is Andy Cotterill from MMA.ca here in Moncton, New Brunswick, with the new Elite One MMA welterweight champion. Congratulations, Matt MacGrath.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks.
So you had a good fight tonight against the incumbent champion, Richard Arsenault. It was a fight long time coming. It was supposed to happen back in January. It didn't happen, but it happened tonight. You've been training for it for a long time. How are you feeling right now?
I feel fantastic. I feel like the fight went exactly how we planned, and we were looking for the finish, and glad to get it.
Yeah. I spoke with for the fans who didn't get to watch the fight, obviously, after 2 rounds, basically Richard was pretty bloody. He had a deep laceration over his eye, and the referee and the in-ring physician assessed that he had a concussion. So, that was basically because you beat him up for 2 rounds. Did you expect it to go like that?
Yeah, I expected to finish the fight in a number of different ways. I knew in his guard or not that I was going to be a dominant force, and that I didn't think he could negate my game. The game plan was to close the distance and take the takedown, but I felt like my striking was right there again. I knew he was, he had a habit of keeping his hands down, so that's why I landed the head kick. And I knew my pace was too much for him. I knew just by his body language he wasn't physically or mentally there. I felt like he was defeated before he was in there.
Really? What made you think that?
Just like social media before the fight, a bunch of different things, which I didn't let affect me. I still trained like a bull and trained for five grueling rounds. I'm better as every round goes, so the third would have been better than the second, the fourth would have been better than the third, and I would have got the finish, albeit in the fourth or the fifth. I would have finished the fight. So
the fight went to the floor basically at a minute, 2 minutes into the first round, and that's what remained till the end of the second round when the physician didn't allow the fight to continue. No disrespect to Richard, but you basically manhandled him on the ground. I spoke with him briefly after the fight, and he gave me a little smile and said, I guess I better work on my ground. So it looked like he was always maneuvering, though, always trying to do a hip escape or something, but every time you just pushed him right back to where you wanted him.
I think that my posture on the ground was giving him some grief, and my hand techniques. I wasn't putting my hand on the mat, so he had a really hard time to hold my head in my hand, and he couldn't stop the ground and pound. I was posturing up, and I was landing heavy strikes. He says that about my ground, but he never hit me once standing up. He never hit me with one punch, so there was no need for me to box with him. I landed a pretty solid head kick a couple of times, I think, and he was out of position when he threw big loopy punches, so I changed levels and took him down. Wherever the fight had went, if I had pinned him up against the cage, it would, I felt like I was better everywhere.
The last time we spoke with you was here in Elite One again. You beat UFC veteran Mark Holst in the main event, and we interviewed after that fight, and you told me that you had some regrets about your career. In the past, you'd taken some fights short notice that you shouldn't have taken, and you decided to reinvent yourself in this career. And you had big plans as well. You want to keep winning some big fights and get your shot at the UFC. So it's a nice win like this in the co-main event. It's got to feel good.
Feels fantastic. Last time I had a 3-fight win streak. I went 5-0 when I started my career, and that was a long time ago. So
I was there.
Yeah, this is my 21st fight and my 3rd win in a row, and now we're picking smart fights. I'm 33, so we're going to pick the right fights. Patrick Cote had a quote one time when I fought on a ringside card, and he said that I never take easy fights, and I still don't take easy fights, but I'm fighting for me now, and I'm not fighting to fight.
So is it too early to tell you what's next for you? Do you have any fights remaining in your Elite One contract?
I have an open contract, so I don't have any contract, but Elite One have treated me well, and I have an honest and open relationship with them. We have a list of names, whichever promotion they're with, that we want to fight, and no, I'm not going to say any right now, but just my wife's having a baby in another month or so, and that's her 2nd child, and I just want to spend a little bit of time with the family, but that just means I'm in the gym 3 days a week instead of 7, so I never really stopped training. So
well, Matt, it was a really nice win tonight, a dominant win. Is there anyone you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank my wife and my daughter for their patience, and Paul Abel's been a really big part of this change in my career. So Paul Abel and all of Wolfram MMA.
Right on. Well, Matt, once again, it was a really nice fight. It's always exciting to watch you fight. You get in there. Congratulations on a nice win.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks.
All right, this is Andy Cotterill with Matt MacGrath at Elite One in Moncton.